بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
إنك لا تنادي فهبوا يا بني قومي أسودا أعيدوا للدنا أمجاد عصر وفل بالحديد لنا القيود.
If we when we went to the page behind before this one, it says it clearly that he found the sun in a place. So if the Muslim, they want to try to say to us, no, it's not really a place. It was like, he arrived to where the ocean, where the sun set as normal. Like if we keep going until we arrive to the beach, and then that's it. We see the sun sitting down. It's a metaphor. No, it's a place. Sitting in place of the sun. This is the Quran without any interpretation. So it's a sitting place. It's a physical place because he found it sitting in a spring water. It sitting in spring water. So he found the sitting place, and that place was a murky water.
Imam ibn Kathir states, until, when he reached the setting place of the sun, means, he followed a route until he reached the furthest point that could be reached in the direction of the sun's setting, which is the west of the earth. As for the idea of his reaching the place in the sky where the sun sets, this is something impossible, and the tales told by storytellers that he traveled so far to the west that the sun set behind him are not true at all. Most of these stories come from the myths of the people of the book and the fabrications and lies of their heretics. He found it setting in a spring of Hamayad, meaning, he saw the sun as if it were setting in the ocean. This is something which everyone who goes to the coast can see. It looks as if the sun is setting into the sea, but in fact it never leaves its path in which it is fixed. Hamaya is, according to one of the two views, derived from the word hama, which means mud. This is like the I am going to create a man, Adam, from dried clay of altered Hamayad, mud, which means smooth mud. Tafzi al-Jalaleen says, until, when he reached the setting of the sun, the place where it sets, he found it setting in a muddy spring, Ain Hamia, a spring, containing Hama, which is black clay. Its setting in a spring is described as seen from the perspective of the eye, for otherwise it is far larger in size than this world. And he found by it, that is, by the spring, a folk of disbelievers. Imam al-Qurtubi states, it is not meant by reaching the rising or setting of the sun. It runs in the sky around the earth without touching it, and it is too great to enter any spring on earth. It is so much larger than earth, but it is meant that he reached the end of populated land east and west, so he found it according to his vision setting in a spring of a murky water, like we watch it in smooth land as if it enters inside the land. That is why he said, he found it raising on a people for whom we had provided no covering protection against the sun, and did not mean that it reaches or adheres to them, but they are the first to rise on. Probably this spring is a part of the sea and the sun sets behind, with or at it, so the proposition takes the place of an adjective, and Allah knows best. If the sun were to literally set inside a pool of water, then it would have to rise back again from that location and set into another body of water, which the glorious Quran makes no mention of, and then rise back again from that body of water and set again in Dul-Qarnayn's body of water, and so on. This never happened, and nor did the glorious Quran mention it. The sun simply does not bounce back and forth between the east and the west on earth, and nor does the moon. The noble verses also do not say that the Dul-Qarnayn went to the east or the west of the earth. Besides, Allah Almighty did not mention any spring or hole that the sun came from. This further proves that Dul-Qarnayn did not go to the ends of the earth. And the earth doesn't have two springs, or holes, that it rises and sets through. No east nor west were mentioned in any of the noble verses, neither does the glorious Quran mention that there are ends of the earth. On the contrary, the glorious Quran clearly and indisputably declares that the earth is spherical, round, is suspended and orbiting in space, and is rotating around its own axle.
خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق يكور الليل على النهار ويكور النهار على الليل وسخر الشمس والقمر كل يجري لأجل مسمى ألا هو العزيز الغفار.
He created the heavens and the earth in true proportions. He makes the night overlap the day, and the day overlap the night. He has subjected the sun and the moon to his law. Each one follows a course for a time appointed. Is not he the exalted in power, he who forgives again and again? Here, the Arabic word used in verse 39:5 comes from the root kawara, which means to overlap, wrap, or to coil, like how you coil a turban around your head, or how you coil something around an object. It also means 1. To roll, to roll up, to coil, to wind, two to make round, three to clench.
الذي خلق الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر كل في فلك يسبحون.
It is he who created the night and the day, and the sun and the moon. All the celestial bodies swim along, each in its rounded course. Falak.
لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون.
It is not permitted to the sun to catch up, Tadrik, the moon, nor can the night outstrip the day. Each just swims along in its own orbit, Falak, according to law. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was asked if the sun and the moon would ever collide while they are rising and setting above the earth. Allah Almighty responded to them by saying that neither the sun will ever catch up with the moon, nor will the moon ever catch up with the sun. On the contrary, each one of them is swimming in its own orbit, Falak. They are not on the same orbit, Falak. Of course, on Judgment Day, things will be different, and all of the stars and the planets will explode and collide with each other, as Allah Almighty said. The day that we roll up the heavens like a scroll rolled up for books, completed, even as we produced the first creation, so shall we produce a new one. Our promise we have undertaken, truly shall we fulfill it. If Allah Almighty truly said that the sun sets on earth in Noble verses 18:86 and 18:90, then this means that the moon too sets on earth. Show me, Mr. Christian Gorilla, where in the Noble Quran did Allah Almighty declare that the moon sets on earth. Clearly, the setting of the sun is a figurative speech, where Dalal Qanin reached a town with a spring or lake in it, and he meditated through the beautiful view of the setting of the sun on the town. Otherwise, we are left with the explanation of why the sun never rose from the west, not even once.
Are they not beyond the Jordan, west of the road, toward the going down of the sun, in the land of the Canaanites who live in the Arabah, opposite Gilgal, beside the oak of Moreh? And the stars of the sky fell to the earth, as the fig tree sheds its winter fruit when shaken by a gale. The sky vanished like a scroll that is being rolled up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. And a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars.